Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
We continue reading from Teachings of Lord Chaitanya, chapter 31. Can somebody please read?
If no one, then I will continue to read.
Yeah, if no one else wants to, you please continue to read.
Rāmānanda Rāya said that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the source of all incarnations and the cause of all causes. There are innumerable Vaikuntha planets, innumerable incarnations and expansions of the Supreme Lord, and innumerable universes also. And of all these existence, the Supreme Lord Krishna is the only source. His transcendental body is composed of eternity, bliss, and knowledge, and he is known as the son of Maharaj Nand and the inhabitant of Golok, Vrindavan. He is full with six opulences, all wealth, strength, fame, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation. In the Brahma Samhita 5.1, it is confirmed that Krishna is the Supreme Lord, the Lord of all lords, and that his transcendental body is Satchit Ananda. No one is the source of Krishna, but Krishna is the source of everyone. He is the supreme cause of all causes and a resident of Vrindavan. He is also very attractive, just like Cupid. One can worship him by the calm Gayatri mantra.
So, Rāmānanda Rāya. What is he saying? Let's see. Where are all the
Krishna.
incarnations coming from?
Yeah, from him now. From Krishna.
Krishna, yeah. And so he's saying, Krishna, that there are so many planets, incarnations, expansions, universes, and everything. Who's the only source?
Yeah, Supreme Lord Krishna.
Yeah. And his body, what is it composed of? His transcendental body?
Satchit Anand.
Satchidananda. And he's inhabitant of where?
Of Golok Vrindavan.
Golok Vrindavan. And what is the full, what opulences does he have in full?
Yes, so he's all wealth, strength, fame, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation.
That's right. And what does Brahma Samhita confirm?
Krishna is the Supreme Lord, and his body is transcendental. He's the Lord of all lords.
Yes. And he's Sarva Karana Karana.
Sarva.
Supreme cause of all causes.
Yeah, so he doesn't come from any source. He's the source.
Yeah, because we in the material world, we are always asking, right? Where did this come from? Where did this come from? So, it's a tendency for us to ask, right? Oh, who's your father? Where do you come from? Which factory this is made? Like what brand? What company? Everything where something is coming from. Then when we come to Krishna, oh, he has no source. Oh, really? It's the cause of all causes.
So he is omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
In the Brahma Samhita, the transcendental land of Vrindavan is described as being always spiritual. That spiritual land is populated by goddesses of fortune who are known as gopis. These are all beloved of Krishna. And Krishna is the only lover of all those gopis. The trees of that land are all desire trees. You can have anything you want from any tree. The land is made of touchstone, and the water is nectar. In that land, all speech is song, all walking is dancing, and the constant companion is the flute. Everything is self illuminated, just like the sun and moon in this material world. The human form of life is meant for understanding this transcendental land of Vrindavan, and one who is fortunate should cultivate knowledge of Vrindavan and its residents. In that supreme abode of Krishna are Surabhi cows who overflood the land with milk. Since not even a moment there is misuse, there is no past, present, or future. An expansion of that Vrindavan is present on this earth, and superior devotees worship the earthly Vrindavan as non different from the supreme abode. No one can appreciate Vrindavan without being highly elevated in spiritual knowledge, Krishna consciousness. According to ordinary experience, Vrindavan appears to be just like an ordinary tract of land. But in the eyes of a highly elevated devotee, it is as good as the original Vrindavan. A great saintly Acharya has sung, when will my mind be cleared of all dirty things so I will be able to see Vrindavan as it is? And when will I be able to understand the literature left by the six Goswamis so that I will be able to understand the transcendental pastimes of Radha and Krishna?
So here Rāmānanda Rai is quoting from Brahma Samhita. Brahma Samhita is saying that the Vrindavan is not material, is spiritual, transcendental. And that the land over there, the ground, like we have stone, we have earth, right? The ground is made of earth. Vrindavan, he says Chintamani. It's all made of Chintamani. And there's jewels and valuable things lying around. And who's living there? Goddesses of fortune. The
They're
gopis
still
are the.
living there. You
I'm
mean in
sorry.
the earthly? They're still living there in this earth, the
Oh, yeah.
gopis. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. It's aprakat. We can't see it.
Yeah.
But in the pastimes of Krishna go on with them. And they are beloved of Krishna, and Krishna is the only lover of all those gopis. So there's a loving relationship, very, very loving relationship between the lover and beloved, gopis and Krishna. And here, our trees, they give us only whatever. If it's a mango tree, we get a mango, or an apple tree, we get apple. But in Vrindavan, they're desire trees, kalpa vriksha. And one can ask anything one. One has to be a pure devotee to be able to ask.
True.
The water is nectar. You know how we drink water. So the water in Golok Vrindavan, that is nectar. All speech is song, all walking is dancing. The speaking is singing, walking is dancing. So everyone's so happy, no? When we are happy, we sing and we dance. Isn't
Mm.
it?
Mm.
So they're always singing and dancing. So because they're always so happy, constant companion is the flute. And the spiritual sky does not need the sun or moon to brighten it. It's dark, like for here now it's getting dark. The sun has gone down, so we have to switch on the lights. So material world is very dark, but the spiritual world is ever bright. But then for the sake of pastimes, just for the sake of pastimes. There is that impression of time. The sun is there, moon is there for decorate, like, to make the pastimes more beautiful. So, and now it says what Rāmānanda is saying. We think human form of life for me is, I have this goal, I have that goal. Raya Rāmānanda is saying our human life is meant for understanding this transcendental land of Vrindavan. And one who is fortunate should cultivate knowledge of Vrindavan and its residents. So we have this human form of life, and we should try to understand Vrindavan. And the cows there, of course, Surabi cows can give as much milk as is needed. Here we have to force the milk out of the cows. Krishna's land, well, everything belongs to Krishna, but Golok Vrindavan, there's Surabi cows. And there is no impression, there is impression of time, but time, there is no like past, present, and future because it's eternal, right? It's eternal. Can't even understand. How can that be? What does it mean? Because in this material world, time, we have a deadline, we have a timeline, and time deteriorates everything. So we have past, present, and future. The spiritual world is not like that. And of course, the same Golok Vrindavan we have here on this earth, Vrindavan. And the pure devotees, they can see the real Vrindavan. They can see really the Surabi cows and the Kalpa Vriksha. We will say, oh, where water I can see it's just dirt. What you're saying, land is made of touchstone. We can't see it. We need spiritual vision to see the spiritual world. So the pure devotee can see. This quoting, when will my mind be cleared of all dirty things? So I will be able to see Vrindavan as it is. And when will I be able to understand the literature left by the six Goswamis so that I will be able to understand the transcendental pastimes of Radha and Krishna? Our mind is so occupied by so many different things, really drives us crazy. The devotees are praying that they want to understand the transcendental pastimes of Radha and Krishna by understanding the literature, the books left by the six Goswamis. Prabhupada said we should first read his books before we go on to read the books by the Goswamis because we won't be able to understand them otherwise. As like a child, one who's in high school wants to study postdoc books, he won't be able to understand. But if he goes step by step, high school, undergrad, grad, and then postdoc, everything becomes clear.
The loving affairs between Krishna and the gopis in Vrindavan are also transcendental. Such affairs appear like the ordinary lusty affairs of this material world, but there is a gulf of difference between the moods of Vrindavan and those of this material world. In the material world, there may be the temporary awakening of lust, but it disappears after so called satisfaction. In the spiritual world, the love between the gopis and Krishna is constantly increasing. That is the difference between love in the transcendental world and the lust in the material world. The lust or so called love arising out of this body is as temporary as the body itself. But the love arising from the eternal soul in the spiritual world is on the spiritual platform. And since the spirit soul is eternal, that love is also eternal. Therefore, Krishna is addressed as the evergreen Cupid.
Have a great yoga. Madan Mohan. Love. Yeah, we think, many, we are not able to understand Radha and Krishna's pastimes are transcendental. We understand only material. We're not even able to understand what does transcendental love mean. Transcendental affairs, what does it mean? Because it's coming from pure love of the soul, the spiritual world.
Wanted to ask.
Yes.
Yeah. When Rāmānanda Rai was saying that when can I see the Vrindavan, so does it mean the Vrindavan here in the material world, or what?
So that's what, the pure devotee, for the pure devotee, there's no difference
There's no
between.
difference.
Yeah, because he's seeing the spiritual world. For him, it's the spiritual world. He's not seeing the material world.
In spite of being in this material world, and he's in Vrindavan, but he's still seeing.
Yeah, he can see the spiritual world while being in this material world. Yeah. Because his consciousness is pure, completely pure.
Lord
That's why
Krishna.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We'll just add this. So that's the reason the pure devotees, they are praying, oh, I don't care whether I'm going to hell or heaven or wherever. I just want to be engaged in your service. Means what? Means I always want to be with you. Means what? If I'm with you, then that's Vrindavan. That's the spiritual world.
Right.
So that's how.
Lord Krishna is worshipped by the Gayatri mantra, and the specific mantra by which he is worshipped is called Kama Gayatri. The Vedic literature explains that sound vibration, which can elevate one from mental concoction, is called Gayatri. The Kama Gayatri mantra is composed of 24.5 syllables. Thus, Klim, Klim, Kam, Devaya, Vitmahe, Pushpabanaya, Dhimahi, Tanno Nanga Prachodaya. This Kama Gayatri is received from the spiritual master when the disciple is advanced in chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. In other words, this Kama Gayatri mantra and samskara or reformation of a perfect Brahmana are offered by the spiritual master when he sees that his disciple is advanced in spiritual knowledge. Even then, the Kama Gayatri is not uttered. The certain circumstance. In any case, the chanting is sufficient to elevate to the highest spiritual platform.
Because Krishna is worshipped by Kam Gayatri, here Srila Prabhupada is saying, Krishna is worshipped by Kam Gayatri, and he has given us the Kam Gayatri here. Klim Kama Devaya Vidmahe Pushpa Banaya Dhimahi Tanno Nanga Prachodaya. And he's saying it needs to be received from the spiritual master. And when will the spiritual master initiate one in chanting Gayatri? When he sees that he has become spiritually advanced. Then the spiritual master gives the Brahman initiation. When he sees the devotee has become purified, he's situated in the mood of goodness, then he's fit to chant the Gayatri, then he gives. And how does the disciple come to that position? He chants Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And Prabhupada is saying that the Hare Krishna mantra is sufficient to take us back to the spiritual, to take us back home, back to Godhead, to be situated on the pure devotional platform, to be in the spiritual world. Hare Krishna mantra is sufficient. But yes, if one is spiritually advanced, then he can go on and take the Brahman initiation and chant the Gayatri.
Okay, it's called the Brahmana initiation.
Brahman initiation in ISKCON, that's how it's called. Brahman initiation.
And how many times is recited? This one?
The Gayatri mantra is recited 3 times a day. There's specific timings.
Okay.
Yeah. Specific timings when the devotee chants the mantra. It's thrice a day.
Okay. In the Brahma Samhita, a nice description of the sound of Krishna's flute is given. When Krishna began to play on his flute, the sound vibration entered into the ear of Brahma as the Vedic mantra Om. This Om is composed of 3 letters A, U, and M, and it describes our relationship with the Supreme Lord, our activities by which we can achieve the highest perfection of love and the actual position of love on the spiritual platform. When the sound vibration of Krishna's flute is expressed through the mouth of Brahma, it becomes Gayatri mantra. It becomes Gayatri. By being influenced by the sound vibration of Krishna's flute, Brahma, the supreme creature and the first living entity of this material world, was initiated as a Brahmana. That Brahma was initiated as a Brahmana by the flute of Krishna is confirmed by Srila Jiva Goswami. When Brahma was enlightened by the Gayatri mantra through Krishna's flute, he attained all Vedic knowledge, acknowledging the benediction offered to him by Krishna. He became the original spiritual master of all living entities.
So Lord Brahma is saying how he is able to chant the Gayatri. Brahmaji is saying that Krishna was playing the flute and he heard the sound of the flute. And this is the Vedas, this is how Krishna speaks, by playing on his flute as the Vedic mantra Om. And here Rāmānanda is saying this Om is composed of 3 letters AUM, and it describes our relationship with the Supreme Lord, our activities by which we can achieve the highest perfection of love and the actual position of love on the spiritual platform. So again, Sambandha, Abhideya and Prayojana. Our relationship with the Supreme Lord, that is Sambandha. Abhideya, what do you do? Activities, that's the devotional service. Our relationship with the Supreme Lord, each and every one of us has an eternal loving relationship with Krishna. It can never be broken under any circumstance. And how we can be situated in that relationship is by devotional service. That's Abhideya. And then what's the result? Prayojana. Krishna Prema. So Prema Pumartha Mahan, says Lord Caitanya. So here is said that when Krishna's and when the sound vibration of Krishna's flute is expressed through the mouth of Brahma, it becomes Gayatri. So Krishna is playing the flute, he's speaking the Vedic knowledge to Brahma, and Brahma is hearing all this, and then he can speak the Gayatri. He can chant the Gayatri because Krishna has initiated him into chanting the Gayatri. Krishna is the original spiritual master, and he initiates Lord Brahma, and Lord Brahma is the original spiritual master of all living entities, of each of us. And this is also confirmed by Srila Jiva Goswami, one of the 6 Goswami, Vrindavan.
Is Kama the Gayatri, right? That one, which it mentioned earlier. Yeah, that's the one. Okay.
I think so. Yeah. Because here Raya Rāmānanda is saying, Kam Gayatri is how Krishna is worshipped. Krishna is worshipped by chanting this Kama Gayatri. And here is said that the original speaker of Gayatri is Brahma. Now, which Gayatri, that is not specified here. So I can't be too sure. Because I know there are many different kinds of Gayatri.
Yeah, there's that Gayatri mantra, no? Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
Yeah, that's right. So now, which Gayatri Lord Brahma spoke? I not that. But we can read on and maybe there may be more spoken of that. But I think we might have to stop here.
Yeah.
It's time. Yeah. So we'll continue reading tomorrow and let's see if it comes up then.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Everyone for listening and enjoying. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhaktivinoda